Hey, Speckles or Demon Flying with me, Speckles here. Going to finish this video. I just want to say that this video is a continuation of my last video that I made Saturday. And yes, this is the Multiverse Chronicles story. And it will lead into the next one where I'm finally going to revealing how Karma and Yin Yang found out their father was Spike, the overseer of their world. So, without further ado, let's roll intro, let's go into the video, and let's go. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Speaking enough of me, where is he? Why should I even tell you, you disgusting freak? Because if you don't, Chronicles said as he walked out of the way, I'm gonna shoot you with this giant cannon. Like you even have the balls to. You're right, I don't. Because the thing would vaporize this entire city block. Hey, Michael. Yes, boss? Can you bring in Meckel? Sure, boss. That was a friend of mine. And Meckel. They're wearing an armor I made for them. Just then, two people appeared next to Colonel Stryker. They were Meckel and Hector. Hey Meckel, didn't Amber Flin here actually do something to your family? What do you mean, Colonel Stryker? What do you mean? They said as they turned to Amber Flin. They started walking towards her, charging their cannon on their arm. You're the one who got my family broken apart, she said as she started charging her claws. You're the one who killed my father. Who was your father again? His name was Mr. Hector. You don't know his first name because you just called him a disgusting freak who deserved to die. Which one? I've heard called a lot of people that. And I've only stated the truth, honey. Don't honey me. Hector then raised their cannon up and shot directly next to Amber, aiming for her face. But Amber ducked down and the blast blew a giant hole through the wall. Where do you think you're going? Colonel Stryker, are you sure she is mentally stable at the moment? No, she's not. I've known this person for a while. I've known her for a few years. I know what happened to her father. What exactly happened to her father, Mr. Stryker? Another time, dude. Another time. Not right now. Fair enough. Okay. That's getting enough. Oh, that's enough? That's enough? Hector says as they started charging their hands even more, releasing energy. Yeah, my father said that right before he put the bullet in his skull. Ah! Hector leapt at him. Hector launched themselves at Amber, scratching at them, slicing their face, right on their cheek. Amber leapt back and screamed in pain. Ah! She then turned around, grabbed her cane that was leaning against the wall, grabbed it, and turned back around, shot it at Meckel. But Meckel already saw it and ducked down charged you with more energy to her hand. She then uppercutted the weapon, plunged her hand into the machine, ripping out its core, and then proceeded to throw it behind her back. Colonel Stryker raised his hand and caught it, and said, "Oh, now this is interesting. Whoa, that's unstable. That's unstable. Everybody run! Meckle, get out of here! You too, Meckle!" Both people disappeared, and Amber said, "What is that exactly?" You have no idea what this is," Colonel Stryker said as he started tossing his sausage around. "This is a uranium core. Well, sayonara to you, Amber," he said as he threw at her and let off a giant explosion. But a split second before, Amber Flin disappeared. Colonel Stryker then left, and also Colonel Stryker disappeared a split second before the bomb went off. Okay. What just happened? Mr. Stryker, you okay? Oh, hey, Meckle. Where's Meckle Hector? Okay. This is getting on my last nerve. Just call me MH for now. Okay, MH. Where are we? I have no clue. Mr. Stryker, don't you have like a wrist gauntlet like thing that can tell us where we are? Duh, of course I do. Colonel Stryker said as he proceeded to punch at a few things on his wrist. A screen popped up on next to him and said, "Okay, according to this, we're actually still in the same area, just underground," he says. He brought out a holographic screen and expanded. "Here's where we were a few minutes ago. This is where we are now. We're below the sewers. That's interesting. How far down are we again? I'm going to say around a few hundred feet. And just to be more conservative, he then turned around and let off a giant blast. Boom! Yeah, my tech can't actually penetrate the ground that easily. And I'm reading at least 300 feet below ground. And what about the core? The core was unstable uranium. Thing actually went off, only blew up the building. The floor we were in ended up. No one was in there. It was being renovated. Any nuclear waste? Europe and Tart. Actually, surprisingly, no. It appears that this building actually made a counter for that. Okay. No. Wait, wasn't that an HCA building we were just in? Yeah, it was. I heard her say something about a experimentation of an alchemy. Okay, I'm going to make a few calls real quick. Yeah, you too. Yeah, it's me, Colonel. Get down here. HCA Street 512 North Avenue, Middletown Square. HCA building. Look for a manhole cover or something. If we have to, slice up those guards. If they're not, after that nuclear blast went off, they're definitely going to replace them with some pretty interesting fellows. Pretty sure they're going to have a few dragonoid heroes in there that are immune to radioactivity, or possibly even some random people coming in. I think I found the location where Nathalie is being held at the moment. I think they heard a voice, but Meckle heard a voice coming over from Colonel. It said, "Thank you, Colonel Stryker. You're being a big help. Man, I miss my husband." Yeah, you're welcome, Raph. He turned around and started to walk back to MH and Meckle. Mr. Stryker, I overheard that last bit. Who were you talking to exactly? I was talking to a friend. Her husband's Nafumi Watane. They have adopted a little girl who has of dragonoid powers. Not saying you know, dragon though, it's a pretty powerful species. She needs now from me because he's actually got some knowledge due to the dragon, due to the creature's nature being from another world. They started to walk around even more into the facility they found themselves in. Wait a minute, I'm starting to recognize a few things around here, Colonel Stryker said as he turned around the corner. They then saw also in that horrid fight, all of them but Colonel Stryker and more. What they saw was Naofumi Watanabe, but with rocks where his arms should be, on his legs, and a giant crystal shield. What are they doing to you, friend? He proceeded to punch a few buttons on his gauntlet, and a machine flew through the ground next to them. It was a modified version of Naofumi's old mech armor. Okay. Can y'all help me with this? Mekl and MH said okay, and they ran over to the machine. What exactly is going on with this? This is Naofumi Watanabe, a good friend of mine, an old client, but I actually made a few mechs with him, his wife, and his girlfriend. Even had to modify and upgrade their daughter's mech to suit her new dragonoid powers. I have, ever since I've been over to the Beastverse and met Mekl here, I have learned a few things about the dragons, mostly from the guy named Kama. I'm pretty sure you will be needing next time we go. Okay, MH, can you cut those wires there and there? Mekl, hotwire the machine and bring Naofumi off life support, but immediately shock him now. And 3, 2, 1, now. Colonel Stryker said as he hit a button. Then MH proceeded to cut those 2 wires, and Mekl proceeded to shut off life support and shock him. Naofumi's eyes fluttered open in a giant jolt of electricity. And the button that Colonel Stryker just pushed was a button to drain the fluid and release Naofumi. Naofumi jumped down and put his claw at a rock hand up to him and said, "Ugh, what happened?" "Naofumi!" Colonel Stryker said as he ran and gave Naofumi a hug. Naofumi, being confused, who was hugging him, said, "What?" He snapped to his senses and said, "Stryker? What happened? Where am I?" "Buddy, you're underneath the HCA. They did experiments on you, from what I've been able to tell." "HCA, what do you mean?" He looked at his arms and said, "I can work with this." "What do you mean?" "What I mean is I'm not surprised they did this. I'm surprised they gave me this much power." "What do you mean by that?" Do you know about them? Yeah, I know about Karma and Yin Yang. Very nice people. Yeah, I met them." "Well, that's impressive." Boss, what's going on here?" "Who are you?" "Oh, nothing. This is my friend's, Mekl. He's a Mechagon from the Beastverse." "Whoa, did not see that coming. I didn't even suspect him to meet you. Never ever heard a dragon have a humanoid form. It's quite rare. And this is my friend, Mekl Hector, or she just now wants me to call it MH. Nice to meet you, ma'am. Although I don't really trust people." Yeah, Colonel Stryker told me in your past. I still can't believe we renamed that girl Bench. Oh, trust me, she was a bench. I agree with that, and so, also, I'm King. Can I go for a call quick? Who you call? You know enough of me. Colonel Stryker said in a whisper. Naofumi said, "Go ahead." Colonel Stryker walked over to a corner that was soundproof for some reason. He tapped on his earpiece and said, "Yeah, he's alive. I can come in now. And bring in the mechs too. Did you find the vehicle? Good. See you in a few minutes. Find the hole I just made." A few minutes later, 2 mechs flew down. One had some barren resemblance to a raccoon, and the other one flew down on a pair of wings and had clawed feet. The other, the one that looked like a raccoon, had pieces that looked like a sword on their shoulder. Both Naofumi immediately recognized them and said, "Honey? Philo?" The 2 girls took off their helmets and said, "Hello. Hey, honey. Papa." Philo said she ran and hugged Naofumi. Who are you two? The girl who called Naofumi honey turned around and the pieces of metal that resembled pieces of a sword merged together and formed a sword in her hand. She said, "Who are you two?" Meko tried to explain that they were friends of Colonel Stryker but before he could, Colonel Stryker turned around in the corner and said, "Hey, Raptalia." "Hey, Philo." Raptalia turned around and said, "Colonel Stryker, who are these people?" Colonel said, "Well, these are my friends. The first one, the one that looks like he's heavily armored all the time, which, funny enough, is actually a skin. That one's Mekl, a Mechagon from the Beastverse. And that one right there is a friend of mine, MH, or Mekl Hector. I've heard about you." "You have?" "Yeah, I have. Your vehicles are amazing." "Why, thank you. I didn't recognize you because of your armor." "Let me guess, Colonel Stryker made it for you?" "Yeah, he did. That guy made pretty much any armor." "Man, is that true? He actually followed my instructions for my raccoon mech armor right here. He even followed mine and Naofumi's design and ideas, and also Philo's ideas. He more or less pulled most of Philo's ideas for her armor." "And who is this little girl exactly?" Mick said, "This is our adopted daughter named Philo. We named her because of her powers. Turns out, after we adopted her, we encountered a feather that for some reason a few days later glowed, and these 2 blonde things sprouted on her head, and her lower feet turned into that of something resembled humanoid chicken legs, and wings sprouted from her back. We called in an old friend of ours that said that she, from the HCA, that she came. That feather must have been from a creature that was dying, and the last essence of it fused with her, creating her into this. They tried to take her away and run some experiments on her, and tried to turn her a new generation of hero, but Naofumi said that wasn't going to happen. This is his daughter. They respected that because Naofumi was a very powerful hero. And as you can see, I'm even more powerful now. Also, Naofumi, what can this do exactly? It's designed to boost both of your powers, and it's fueled by your power as well. And can I explain Philo's mech? Sure. Okay, before I do though, I need to run a perimeter check on something. We proceed to punch even more things on his gauntlet. And a burst of white light, a ring of it, lit off around them, and he said, "Okay, we got a few guards coming this way, but I'm gonna guess around 5 minutes until they get here. That's enough time for me to explain the suit." Philozama, it's a pretty interesting one. I had him, besides Nafumi's here, it was actually the first one I had to do. It's a few years old, but I've had to make a few upgrades. They originally wanted to make it the armor for her. It was before she actually learned how to fly. So they wanted me to coat her wings in metal to actually make sure her wings would be perfectly fine later on, which I was okay with. But I eventually had to change that because she started learning to fly with them. Her creature is actually a transforming filial angelic dragon, or that filial is sometimes mistaken for a philo. So a transforming philo angelic dragon, hence her name Philo. She is a very energetic kid, so I made the armor with a power core that can run as much as she can. So yeah, I made an armor for a kid, and I'm happy that I did. Colonel, how many years ago did you make this armor? Only around 1 year ago. Wow, that's impressive. And sorry for not coming to rescue you sooner than Nafumi. Mr. Nafumi, does the mech even have a name? Yeah, I named all my mechs. Nafumi's, I named it off of the creature I heard. It's called the Elemental Shield Golem mech. And Raftalia's is called Light plus Dark Raccoon mech. I forgot to add the other C in there, but too lazy to fix that in. But other than that, Philo's here is called Omnibird mech because he gave it all abilities from every single bird species you know of. Yes, that's including an ostrich, and penguin, and woodpecker. Pretty much any bird you can think of. Believe me, it's quite annoying at times. Yeah, hey, you told me to do. You told me to listen to your daughter and see if I could work anything in. And she said she really likes birds. So I said, what was her favorites? She said, all those birds. She said all birds was her favorite. So I just went with what I could do. Okay, dude? Fair enough. Okay, everyone, get ready for a fight because they're coming in hot now. Raftalia, can you get Phil back up to the ship? Yeah, sure. What about everyone else though? We can handle it ourselves. Just then a huge pile of dust burst up and was a hero. Oh, it's harmful hands. Hey, Orion. Colonel Stryker? What is going on here? Yeah, turns out they're experimenting on our friend Nafumi here. Well, it's a good thing I'm not part of the HCA, I'm just a cover agent. So let's pretend I kidnapped y'all, okay? Fair enough. Everyone, act like you're knocked out. I'm going to pretend Michael Hector, right? You and Raptalia escaped, okay? To make it believable, because there's no way I can actually be the one who actually captured all y'all. They would get suspicious. Also, I am not harming Philo. Okay. Well, how do y'all know each other? Me now. Nafumi, aka me, Philo, Raftalia, Chrono Striker all work for an organization known as the Creature Heroes. They're a lot better than the HCA, trust me, on that end. Trust me, they are, and I have worked with them and supplied mech armors to them for a few powered or weak-powered or non-powered heroes, so I know how good those people are. I've barely even worked with the HCA sometimes. When I do though, it's always for a heavily weaponized mecha. Okay, everyone. Also, sorry, but I'm gonna have to knock y'all out myself. I can fix the dents later. She proceeded to punch all of them, minus Mecha Hector, Raftalia, and Philo. Those three flew up through the hole that was created by Colonel Striker summoning summoning Nafumi's mech. And they flew into the ship. A few minutes later, the three dudes, Mekl, the Mechagon, Colonel Striker, and Nafumi all woke up, found themselves in a room that was emitting, at the core was an mobile EMP made to weaken their armor and block any communications in or out of the room. In the way was Harmful Hands, aka Ryan Allister. Creature was that of a Weasel, a Aztecian creature that has hands that on its 4 feet and a long prehensile tail with a hand at the end of it. She got her name, Harmful Hands, because of the fact that her hands are really strong. Even the slightest grip can crush a human skull, even by complete accident. And her tail is actually quite weaker, but it's strong enough to support her full body mass. Soon, Ember Flin herself walked in alongside another hero and Harmful Hands. The hero, Nafumi, and Colonel Striker both realized with another creature hero's agent. They were surprised just how many were there. Hero was named, the hero took after the creature known as a Centaur or Yale. Gender, male. Was actually straight and was able to gain Amber Flynn's trust because of that. Hero name, Longhorned. Name, Thornton Johnson. He has taken after a Yale, mostly in the fact of his long horns, but he also has the ability to actually sprout horns from either hand and also sprout them up to a few feet long, sometimes even going as far as 15 feet. He can turn these into something like a drill and use them in hand-to-hand combat, or use them as a staff by breaking them off. But when he breaks them off, they can only last for an hour before they start crumbling and turning to dust. He can then immediately sprout another one. He has a very high regenerative factor on his horns, but it's only 75% more effective on his less effective on his body. So it only loses 25% effectiveness. So he's a pretty fast healer. And he can charge really fast, and when he does, it hits really hard. That was all was going through Nafumi's mind along with Colonel Striker's. For some reason, the EMP was disturbing Mekl the Mechagon. Nafumi saw that and immediately understood that is because his powers came from mechanics. But his organic bit, which was actually a good chunk of him still, was not being affected, so he was understanding what was going on. Okay, so what do you want? Striker said. Ember Flin jumped back before recomposing herself. I want to understand why you disgusting freak came here to rescue this wanted criminal. What do you mean by that, anyways? You see, Nafumi here is wanted for a rape charge against him. Bullcrap! I know that's false. Yeah, but no one will believe you. Even though it is false, no one's gonna believe a mech dealer like you. Oh yeah? Prove it. No one can do anything in here mechanical-wise because of that EMP. And if you turn it off, all mech armors will just reactivate immediately. Yeah, how on earth do you even get those off anyways? It's a bio-lock. Nothing can remove it unless the person wills it to be removed. And what if we just try melting it off? Or hot wiring it? Or, I don't know, hacking it? Impossible. I made that firewall myself and I'm the genius mechanical engineer around here. Well, that's the first thing that you actually said is quite true. But then, before Amber Flynn could ask any more questions, a giant explosion lit off and a giant gust of dust blue hole came in. It was the ion cannon from Amber Flynn's vehicle. Y'all really think y'all could hide that energy signature? It is an EMP for crying out loud, Amber Flynn said out of her mech with a pipe wrench in hand. You know, Amber, I really want to beat you at the moment. Sorry, I meant to say, Meckle said out of her mech armor. You know, Amber Flynn, I also really hate you. Now give me an answer, she said as they lunged towards Amber and knocked her out cold. Fast forward a few hours, Amber Flynn found herself in the roles reversed, and she said why, and MH asked the question one more time. She said that her father was indebted to the HCA for helping make a vehicle that could level entire continents. They wanted this vehicle because just in case one of their own heroes went out of order. Their hero was that of a domestic black dragon. Colonel Stryker said, "Everyone into the vehicle. We have to go to the Beast first and inform Nafmi about Karma and Yin Yang about it. Nafmi, Raftalia, Phil, y'all coming?" They three turned to them and said, Sure, why not? We could use a vacation from all this anyways. They all climbed into the WJHT and disappeared into a cloud of blue rings. Well, I hope you all enjoyed today's video, but I'm sorry. That's all the time I got for today. Until next time, subscribe today to join the Spycast Army or Demons Alliance. Goodbye and peace out, everyone.